Stonehenge, located on the Salisbury Plain in Wiltshire, England, is one of the most iconic and mysterious ancient monuments in the world. It was constructed in several stages, with the earliest elements dating back to around 3000 BC during the Neolithic period. The builders of Stonehenge were part of a prehistoric culture in Britain that left no written records, but archaeological evidence links its construction to a sophisticated society with deep astronomical and ceremonial knowledge. The monument consists of a circular arrangement of massive standing stones, some weighing up to 25 tons. These stones were transported from as far away as 150 miles, including the famous bluestones from the Preseli Hills in Wales. How Neolithic people managed to move these stones remains a subject of debate and fascination. It is believed they used a combination of sledges, rollers, and human effort, possibly aided by waterways and certain engineering techniques. The monument is also precisely aligned with the sunrise of the summer solstice and the sunset of the winter solstice, suggesting its use as an ancient astronomical observatory or calendar. Stonehenge is also thought to have served religious and funerary purposes, evidenced by nearby burial sites. With that being said, these stones are mysterious to this very day, and they continue to captivate us thousands of years later, drawing in millions of visitors each year. The Great Pyramid of Giza, located on the Giza Plateau, near Cairo, Egypt, is the oldest and only surviving structure of the original 7 wonders of the ancient world. It was constructed during the 4th dynasty of the Old Kingdom of Egypt, around 2560 BC, under the reign of Pharaoh Khufu, also known as Cheops. Built as a monumental tomb for the pharaoh, the pyramid reflects the architectural and engineering mastery of ancient Egyptian civilization. Originally standing at 481 feet tall, the Great Pyramid remained the tallest man-made structure in the world for over 3,800 years. It is made from an estimated 2.3 million limestone and granite blocks, each weighing between 2.5 and 15 tons. The exact methods used to construct the pyramid remain debated, but scholars believe that ramps, sledges, and a highly organized labor force played critical roles. Contrary to popular myths, evidence suggests the builders were not slaves, but rather skilled workers who were well fed and housed in nearby worker villages. The pyramid's near-perfect alignment with the cardinal points and its precise dimensions demonstrate a remarkable understanding of mathematics and astronomy. Its base is almost a perfect square, and its sides are closely aligned with true north. Inside, the pyramid contains a complex network of passageways and chambers. Its massive scale and intricate design makes this wonder so fascinating, with the mystery surrounding how it was built with the limited technology of the time continuing to spark debate. The Hanging Gardens of Babylon are one of the most legendary wonders of the ancient world, often celebrated for their stunning beauty and advanced engineering. Believed to have been constructed around 600 BC, the gardens are traditionally attributed to King Nebuchadnezzar II of the Neo-Babylonian Empire. According to ancient accounts, he built the gardens in the city of Babylon near present-day Hilla in Iraq to please his wife Amytis, who longed for the garden hills and lush landscapes of her homeland in Media. The Hanging Gardens were described as a high-rise garden, featuring exotic trees, plants, and vines, all thriving in the middle of a desert region. What made them a wonder of the world was not just their visual magnificence, but the impressive irrigation system believed to have sustained them. Ancient writers such as Strabo and Philo mention an elaborate system of water lifts or screw pumps that transported water from the Euphrates River to the upper levels of the garden. Despite their fame, no definitive archaeological evidence of the gardens has ever been found in Babylon, leading some scholars to speculate that they may have been located elsewhere, or that they were purely mythical. Some theories suggest they might have actually been located in Nineveh, the Assyrian capital, under the reign of King Sennacherib. Whether myth or reality, the Hanging Gardens of Babylon continue to captivate the imagination for their ambitious design, cultural significance, and the mystery surrounding their existence. The Temple of Artemis at Ephesus was one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, known for its grand scale, artistic beauty, and religious significance. It was originally built around 550 BC in the ancient city of Ephesus, located in present-day Turkey. The temple was commissioned by King Croesus of Lydia and constructed by the Greek architect Chersiphron and his son Metagenes. Dedicated to Artemis, the Greek goddess of the hunt, wilderness, and fertility, the temple was a major religious center that attracted worshippers and visitors from across the ancient world. The structure measured approximately 425 feet long and 225 feet wide, making it larger than a modern football field. It was supported by over 120 Ionic columns, each standing about 60 feet tall. Made primarily of marble, the temple featured detailed carvings and sculptures, including contributions from some of the most skilled artists of the time. The temple served not only as a place of worship, but also as a marketplace and cultural hub. The temple was destroyed and rebuilt multiple times due to floods, arson, and invasions. One of the most infamous acts of destruction occurred in 356 BC, when a man named Herostratus set fire to it in an attempt to gain fame. Interestingly, the temple is said to have burned on the same night Alexander the Great was born. It was later rebuilt even more magnificently, but was ultimately destroyed again by the Goths in 262 AD. Though only fragments of its foundation and a few columns remain today, the Temple of Artemis continues to be remembered as a symbol of ancient religious devotion, architectural excellence, and the statue of Zeus at Olympia was one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, celebrated for its artistic magnificence and spiritual significance. It was created around 435 BC in the sanctuary of Olympia, Greece, the site of the ancient Olympic Games. This colossal statue was crafted by the famed sculptor Phidias, who was also responsible for the statue of Athena in the Parthenon. It was commissioned by the Hellenes to honor Zeus, the king of the Greek gods, and to enhance the prestige of their city in its sacred games. The statue stood approximately 40 feet tall and was seated on a grand throne inside the Temple of Zeus. It was made using a technique that combined gold and ivory over a wooden framework. The figure of Zeus held a statue of Nike, the goddess of victory, in his right hand, and a scepter topped with an eagle in his left hand, and the throne itself was decorated with intricate carvings and precious stones. Ancient writers described it as so awe-inspiring that it gave the impression of Zeus himself inhabiting the temple. Despite its fame, the statue was eventually moved to Constantinople, where it is believed to have been destroyed in a fire sometime in the 5th or 6th century. Though the statue no longer exists, its legacy lives on through descriptions by ancient historians and travelers. The mausoleum at Halicarnassus was one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, known for its architectural brilliance and artistic beauty. It was constructed around 350 BC in the city of Halicarnassus, located in modern-day Bodrum, Turkey. The tomb was built by Queen Artemisia II in honor of her husband and brother, Mausolus, the Persian governor of Caria. After his death, Artemisia commissioned the grand structure to serve both as his burial site and as a monument to his legacy. The mausoleum stood approximately 135 feet tall and combined elements of Greek, Egyptian, and Lycian architecture, making it a unique and innovative structure for its time. It was built on a rectangular base and featured a series of step platforms surrounded by 36 Ionic columns. Above was a pyramid-shaped roof topped with the grand structure of Mausolus and Artemisia riding a 4-horse chariot. The design of this structure was a collaboration between some of the greatest sculptors of the period, including Scopas, Bryaxis, Leochares, and Timotheus. The structure was both a royal tomb and an artistic masterpiece that celebrated the cultural fusion of the ancient world. Its beauty and scale set a standard for monumental tombs and inspired the term mausoleum that is still used today. The structure stood for over 1,600 years before it was gradually destroyed by earthquakes during the Middle Ages. Today, only fragments remain, but the legacy of its artistic achievement and architectural innovation continues to fascinate countless people to this day. The Colossus of Rhodes is one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, admired for its enormous scale and engineering ingenuity. It was built around 280 BC on the Greek island of Rhodes to celebrate the successful defense of the city against a siege by Demetrius I of Macedon in 305 BC. The people of Rhodes, part of the Hellenistic Greek civilization, commissioned the statue as a symbol of their unity and resilience. The sculptor, Chares of Lindos, a student of the famous Lysippus, was chosen to design and construct the monument. The statue depicted the sun god Helios, the patron deity of Rhodes, and was made of bronze plates over an iron framework. It stood approximately 100 to 110 feet tall, making it one of the tallest statues of the ancient world. According to some ancient accounts, it may have stood near the harbor entrance, but there are interpretations that it was mounted on the harbor itself, although those are most likely exaggerated myths. Regardless of its exact location, the statue is a remarkable feat of engineering and artistry, created using melted down bronze from the abandoned enemy siege equipment. The statue stood for only about 54 years before it was destroyed by a powerful earthquake in 226 BC. The remains lay in place for centuries, drawing awe from those who saw the fallen pieces until they were eventually sold off for scrap metal by invading forces. Although no trace of the Colossus remains today, its legend lives on, with it inspiring many colossal monuments that came after it. The Lighthouse of Alexandria, also known as the Pharos of Alexandria, was one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. It was constructed around 280 BC on the small island of Pharos, just off the coast of Alexandria, Egypt. The project was commissioned by Ptolemy I Soter, a successor of Alexander the Great, and was completed during the reign of his son, Ptolemy II. Designed by the Greek architect Sostratus of Cnidus, the lighthouse was intended to guide sailors safely into the busy harbor of Alexandria, one of the most important cities of the ancient Mediterranean world. The lighthouse is estimated to have stood between 330 and 400 feet tall, making it one of the tallest man-made structures of the ancient world. It was built in 3 tiers: a square base, a cylindrical midsection, and a smaller circular beacon platform at the top. At night, a large open flame served as the light source, and during the day, polished bronze mirrors reflected sunlight across the sea. It is even believed that the light could be seen from over 30 miles away. This structure had a direct influence on lighthouse construction for centuries after it was created. It stood for over a millennium, but was eventually damaged by a series of earthquakes between the 10th and 14th centuries. By the late 1400s, it had collapsed entirely. Today, submerged ruins of the lighthouse remain off the coast of Alexandria, offering glimpses into one of the most iconic landmarks in human history. The Great Wall of China is one of the most iconic wonders of the world, known for its extraordinary scale and historical significance. Its construction began as early as the 7th century BC, but the most famous sections were built during the Qin dynasty, under Emperor Qin Shi Huang in the 3rd century BC. The purpose of the wall was to protect the Chinese states and empires from invasions and raids by nomadic tribes from the south, especially the Xiongnu. Over the centuries, various dynasties, specifically the Han and Ming, expanded and reinforced the wall, creating the extensive network of fortifications seen today. The Great Wall stretches over 13,000 miles across northern China, from the Bohai Sea in the east to the Gobi Desert in the west. It was constructed using a variety of materials, including earth, wood, bricks, and stone, depending on the geography and resources of each region. Workers included soldiers, peasants, and prisoners, and the construction was grueling and dangerous, resulting in countless deaths during the building process. What makes the Great Wall so fascinating is that much of it was built on mountainous terrain, also including watchtowers, barracks, and signaling systems that enabled communication over vast distances. With that being said, the Great Wall is more than just a military barrier. It represents the determination, engineering skill, and unity of the Chinese people throughout history. It also played a symbolic role in defining the cultural boundary between China and the nomadic peoples beyond. Today, it stands as a UNESCO World Heritage Site and a reminder of China's ancient civilization, attracting millions of visitors from around the globe each year. Petra, often referred to as the Rose City due to its pink hue of its sandstone cliffs, is one of the most astonishing architectural and cultural wonders of the ancient world. Located in present-day Jordan, Petra was established as early as the 4th century BC by the Nabateans, an ancient Arab people who transformed the site into a thriving center of trade and culture. The city flourished between the 1st century BC and the 2nd century AD, serving as a major hub along caravan routes that linked Arabia, Egypt, and the Mediterranean. Rather than building upward with stone bricks, the Nabateans carved their city directly into the rock faces of narrow desert canyons. The most iconic structure is Al-Khazna, or the Treasury, a massive facade carved into a sandstone cliff, standing over 100 feet tall with exquisite Hellenistic architectural details. Other parts of it include the monastery, the royal tombs, and an intricately engineered water management system that allowed the city to thrive in a dry desert environment. The Nabateans were highly skilled engineers and stonemasons, using a combination of chisels and hammering techniques to shape the soft sandstone. They developed an advanced network of dams and aqueducts that collected and stored rainwater, which was essential for sustaining their population and gardens. Petra's blend of Eastern traditions with Greco-Roman architectural styles reflects the city's role as a cultural crossroads. The Colosseum, also known as the Flavian Amphitheater, is one of the most iconic monuments of ancient Rome and a remarkable example of Roman engineering and architecture. Construction began in 72 under the Emperor Vespasian of the Flavian dynasty and was completed in 80 during the reign of his son Titus. The Roman Empire built the Colosseum as a grand arena for public entertainment, specifically gladiatorial contests, animal hunts, and mock naval battles. With a capacity of around 50,000 to 80,000 spectators, it was the largest amphitheater ever built in the ancient world. Built using concrete, limestone, brick, and volcanic rock, the structure incorporated a sophisticated system of vaults and arches that allowed for both strength and flexibility. Its tiered seating design ensured clear sightliness for spectators, while a complex system of underground tunnels and elevators enabled the dramatic and sudden appearance of animals and fighters into the arena. The Colosseum symbolized the might and grandeur of the Roman Empire, and its ability to organize large-scale events to entertain and control the public. Although it suffered damage from earthquakes, fires, and stone scavenging over the centuries, the Colosseum still stands as a testament to ancient Rome's ingenuity and influence. Rediscovered and preserved over time, the Colosseum remains one of the most visited historical sites in the world. Chichen Itza is one of Machu Picchu is a breathtaking archaeological site located high in the Andes Mountains of Peru, built by the Inca civilization in the 15th century. Most historians believe it was constructed during the reign of the Inca Emperor Pachacuti around 1450. The site likely served as a royal estate or religious retreat, though its exact purpose remains a subject of debate. What makes Machu Picchu a wonder of the world is its remarkable preservation, its dramatic mountain setting nearly 8,000 feet above sea level, and the ingenuity of its construction in such a remote and rugged location. The Incas built Machu Picchu without the use of iron tools, wheels, or mortar. Instead, they mastered a technique called ashlar masonry, in which stones were precisely cut to fit together tightly without the need for cement. This method allowed the structures to withstand earthquakes, which are common in the region. The site includes more than 150 buildings, including temples, residences, terraces, and ceremonial centers. The most iconic features include the Temple of the Sun, the Intihuatana stone used for astronomical purposes, and the agricultural terraces that supported the site's food supply. Machu Picchu remained hidden from the outside world for centuries, largely unknown to Spanish conquerors, which helped preserve its structures. It was brought to international attention in 1911 by an American historian. Since then, it has become one of the most visited archaeological sites in the world and a symbol of Inca achievement. The Taj Mahal is one of the most celebrated architectural masterpieces in the world, located in Agra, India. It was commissioned in 1632 by the Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan as a mausoleum for his beloved wife, Mumtaz Mahal, who died during childbirth. The Mughal Empire, which ruled much of the Indian subcontinent during this time, was known for blending Persian, Islamic, and Indian architectural styles, and the Taj Mahal represents the pinnacle of that fusion. It took over 20 years to complete, with construction finishing around 1653, and involved thousands of artisans, laborers, and craftsmen. What makes the Taj Mahal a wonder of the world is its beauty, symmetry, and intricate detail, all made more impressive by the fact that it was built during a period without modern machinery. The structure is made primarily from white marble, brought from Rajasthan, with the central dome rising over 240 feet. The Taj Mahal complex includes formal gardens, a reflecting pool, and a mosque, all laid out with meticulous precision, according to the principles of Mughal garden design. The structure itself is covered with verses from the Quran, floral motifs, and detailed carvings that show an extraordinary level of craftsmanship. Over the centuries, the Taj Mahal has withstood invasions, environmental threats, and pollution. Recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1983, it continues to draw millions of visitors each year, and was rightfully named one of the new 7 wonders of the world. Christ the Redeemer is one of the most iconic monuments in the world, standing high atop Mount Corcovado in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. It was completed in 1931, and is a modern creation compared to the other wonders of the world. The statue is designed and built by Brazilian engineer Heitor da Silva Costa and French sculptor Paul Landowski, with help from Romanian sculptor Jorge Leonida, who crafted the face. The monument was created during a time when Brazil was seeking to reinforce its Christian identity, and it was constructed by a predominantly Catholic society to symbolize peace, faith, and unity. The statue stands 98 feet tall, with an additional 26-foot pedestal, and its arms stretch 92 feet wide. Built using reinforced concrete and covered in thousands of triangular soapstone tiles, the statue is constructed in pieces and assembled atop the mountain, a feat of engineering given the difficult terrain and limited technology available at the time. It overlooks the city of Rio de Janeiro in the Atlantic Ocean, serving as both a spiritual symbol and a cultural landmark visible from miles away. Over the decades, Christ the Redeemer has become a symbol not only of Rio and Brazil, but also of peace and openness around the world. It is a frequent site of tourism, and due to its global cultural significance and stunning design, Christ the Redeemer was officially named one of the new 7 wonders of the world. Thank you very much for watching this video, and if you learned something, make sure to leave a like. Comment down below your thoughts on anything I discussed in this video, and subscribe if you would like to see more like this one. Thank you again, and goodbye.